Hello, everyone, and welcome to a discussion slash rant kind of video today. So, nothing to do with racing. This is regarding Gran Turismo 7's updates, seeing as we just got a new one. What was that, 4 days ago? And to be honest, really lackluster. But I feel like that's something us Gran Turismo 7 players are quite used to these days. And seeing the title of this video is something I want to tackle head on. Is Gran Turismo 7 kind of falling behind, really? And the answer is yes, kind of. Let me explain. So this game is now in its 4th year, which is really hard to believe, but it is in its 4th year now. And looking at the updates, so we've pretty much on average had an update every month, sometimes 2, and those every time it is 2 months it feels like an absolute age. But seeing this game, the major updates has been pretty much when a new track has been updated or some sort of major feature has arrived. So looking back from my memory, 2022, somewhere I think it was June, we had Watkins Glen plus the Escudo. Major update, everyone celebrated. At the end of that year, in November, we had the World Series and some of the World Series events, which were new, that came to the campaign mode. And more importantly, we had Road Atlanta. Everyone celebrated. 2023, we had Grand Valley Highway, which had some mixed reception because it wasn't Grand Valley Speedway, but Grand Valley Highway, new track. And in the end, I think it was an overall benefit switching to the highway format because the cruising genre in this game freaking loves Grand Valley Highway 1. And then we had to wait till November, so that's 9 months to get Lake Louise, a track which no one cares about. So basically, throughout that entire year, we only had one track, and the only thing of note feature-wise was the ability to engine swap when you get to level 50 instead of using the ticket. So that only 2 good things came out of 2023. And the only thing that came out in 2024 was the arrival of the Toyota GT1 and the arrival of Iga, which the cruising community and drift community absolutely love. But so basically we waited from Grand Valley early 2024 to 2023 to mid 2024. That's 1.5 years without a new track. I don't count Lake Louise because I think no one cares about that. And other than those updates, that's it. The rest of the updates have been really crap, really lackluster. Just 3 cars and 3 events. That's it. Oh, and the one other update which I want to really put my eyes on specifically was Spec 2, which came out with Lake Louise. Now, Spec 2, this was something I thought would be a regular thing every end of year where the game would get massive updates. Because if you remember, Spec 2, it came with a bunch of new things, especially for career mode or single player mode. Because one thing I love about Gran Turismo 7 is that there are so many different communities within it. It's not only just a not hardcore, but like a sim racing game. A lot of us take sim racing in Gran Turismo 7 very seriously. That's one big aspect of the community. But there's also the cruising community. We just love to just drive around the street style tracks. I think Tokyo Expressway, Grand Valley Highway 1, Iga Nord 1. Then you have the car show community, which loves showing off their cars in competitions. Then you have the drifters, the drifting community. And then you have the community that just loves single player. So this is what I love about this game, which no other game I feel on PlayStation anyways has this sort of community. We have so many different communities that are all really strong. The Gran Turismo 7 community is a really strong and healthy community. However, over these last 3 and a bit years, with the lack of real big meaningful updates, it feels like our patience has been quite tested. Now, I strongly believe that this game is when it first released, like with the features, it was a really strong game. However, nowadays, especially on PS5, there's a lot more competition now. Back then, it was usually just ACC, and Gran Turismo 7 was at the forefront for PlayStation 5. I don't know what it is for Xbox, and we're not talking about PC. But now, ACC is getting a set of course at Evo. Then you have Red Sport coming on console soon. You have Motorsport Endurance Series, Le Mans Ultimate might come. So the competition is going to be fierce, and the fact that Gran Turismo 7 has had 4 years to really get itself right to the forefront and leap miles ahead, and it hasn't really done that, kind of sucks, really. The only now, when I look at the other games, this Gran Turismo 7 needs to come up with some new features, and there's a lot of missing ones. 2 years ago, I made a video on 10 Group 3 cars, so GT3 cars, that need updating. You know how many have been added since then? 1, and that's the AMG, which is the car you're seeing in the background here. Still don't have the M4, no 296, no C8, no 911, and the list goes on. And then people might complain, oh yeah, but Gran Turismo 7, it's a Japanese game, so you're most likely to have a lot of Japanese bias, and maybe some car companies or tracks don't want to buy into Gran Turismo 7. Well, if that's the case, why haven't we gotten any new GT500 cars? Because the GT500 cars, 2016 cars, are 9 years old. So the new ones are the Nissan Z, the Supra, and the Civic. Still don't have them in the game. Oh, but we got the hypercar in the game for Group 1. Well, where are the rest of them? I feel like that one's a bit of an exception, because I think Le Mans Ultimate has rights to it, and WEC don't really want to give out their IPs to other companies. I say that, but iRacing has them, so I don't know. Same thing with the tracks. You might say, oh yeah, but maybe European tracks don't want to put themselves in Gran Turismo 7. Well, if that's the case, why don't Gran Turismo 7 have any more Japanese tracks? The only 3 that we have are Autopolis, Suzuka, and Fuji. Where are the rest? I'm thinking, where's Motegi, one of my favorite old school Gran Turismo 5 tracks that I also really love looking at for racing. Where are some old school tracks that would literally please anyone? I feel like if they're gonna add new tracks, they either add real world tracks that are sorely missed for the hardcore racing guys like myself, so think Silverstone. That's the only thing I really want to have on my Alton Park, but I feel like I'm thinking of only British tracks. Forget Sebring, Indianapolis, where are they? I don't know where they are. But I think people are more concerned, if they're going to add a track, add a city track from the old games, because that would literally please everyone. Think Special Stage Route 11, Route 5, Tokyo R Route 246, is that the name? Special Stage Route 7. That would literally please the hardcore racing community, the drift community. Think about the infielder and Special Stage Route 11. With all those twisty corners, drifting would be a dream. The cruising would be, you get more cities to cruise through, and more events in career mode. That's another thing that needs to be improved. Where the hell are the events? Single player. We haven't had a new event since Spec 2, and that was 2 years ago. So, yeah. A bit of a... Can you tell this video kind of has no direction, and it's just me ranting? So, yeah. Is Gran Turismo 7 a bad game? No. Because if it was, I probably wouldn't even be playing it. But it's still an amazing game to play, and I recommend anyone to get into it. However, it does feel like new inclusions these days of new racing games, hardcore race games that are coming to new PlayStation. I feel like Gran Turismo 7 will fall behind. So, yeah. What are your opinions? Do you agree or do you disagree? I don't know. So, yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.